with Cassie, as usual. It's kind of hard to show you right now because she's wondering, but happy Bright Friday. What is Bright Friday? Well, I'm going to tell you a little more about Modexus in this video and my story, because when it comes to companies like George Magazine, Modexus, and some others, I didn't just fall into them by happenstance and just, oh yeah, okay, I'll do this for a while. No, I don't work with any company that in some way isn't helping people, making a difference, and on the front edge of this crazy happenings that are going on in this world, because those are the things that are most important to me. So let me share my two-time cancer story a little bit, because it totally lines up with some of the reasons why I love Modexus so much. And so right before I tell that story, I just want to announce that as I'm making this video, the world calls it Black Friday, but Modexus has coined it Bright Friday. As this world gets darker and darker, the companies, the people, most of you watching this, your light is getting brighter. You're shining brighter with truth, with love, with grace. And so once again, that's why I'm working with Modexus, is because they do that. They don't try to fool people into getting their products. It's not just all about the money and all about the sales. And so that's a company that I would want to work with and be a part of. But besides all of that, as far as for you guys, how does it concern you? Well, they have 7, good number, world-class supplements. And when I say world-class, I mean it. They're whole food ingredients, non-GMO, do no harm, all natural. And when I go into my Cadence story, that's the name of their men's supplement, just one of the 7 that they have, I'm going to tell you about how big of a difference it's made in my life. Probably mostly with regards to low testosterone because of testicular cancer affecting me. However, I know men, friends, who did not go through the situations that I went through medically, and they're benefiting just as much in their own ways. So the short story, and hello everybody. I should stop and say hellos. Irma, Angelita, hola. Thanksgiving was good, Irma, thank you. It's been laid back as I expected. So, one last thing I forgot to mention before the story is, yeah, as I record this, it's Bright Friday, so it's BOGO offers, buy one, get one. And so it's pretty much the best time of the year, best day of the year. If you ever thought about trying the Modexus supplements, now is the time. And everyone that I've ever told about Modexus and they tried it, literally, it's been 100% positive feedback. And usually the case with most people is, I'm so glad you told me. And, you know, so that's just one of those things. That's how it is. You got to take my word for it. Okay, so with the story, and I'm going to make this as brief as possible, but still give you what happened. In 2008, I had testicular cancer for the first time. Did radiation treatment, the surgery, and as far as I knew, everything was fine. right? It was like a smashing success as far as I knew, months, years later. However, over time, and really not even to my knowledge, my energy was not the same anymore. I'd see the doctors for this or that, and actually, it's a very long story that I'm not going to go into, where I was having some pain issues, and I didn't know what it was. It wasn't until several years ago when I tried Modexus's cadence, and it restored my T levels every day, that I felt like literally 10, 20 years younger, because I haven't felt that kind of energy, drive, vitality, whatever you want to call it, since before I had cancer. And then end of last year, this year, having testicular cancer the second time. Well, at this point, I was already using the Modexus products, which were helping in many ways. Lift is another supplement that's given me so much more energy to get going in the morning. But it's not just an energy supplement. It's actually to feed your brain, which your brain, how well it's fed, getting nutrients, actually has a big effect on your energy, on how you feel. And just think about it. If you're depressed, if you're dealing with depression of any kind, do you feel like you have a lot of energy and get up and go? No, you don't. And so that is one of the genius, world-class ways that the supplement Lift by Modexus is amazing. So it's not only energy, but it's focus that it gives you. And so that in turn does help things like depression and anxiety and stress, because you just feel better, you think better. And yeah, I'm not the scientist, doctor, to tell you about every ingredient and how it works. I can just tell you that it works. And it works within, like you're gonna notice within the first hour or two. And so for any of you who've been taking supplements and buying junk and vitamins, and you don't know if it's working, you don't feel anything, you're just trusting, oh, this is good for me and it works. I am the example of a person to tell you, stop wasting your money on stuff that you feel no improvement, no benefit from. Why buy that stuff? I mean, yes, eat healthy foods and drinks. Of course, that's good for you. But don't buy pills, or even worse, injections and things, where you either have side effects or you have no idea if it's working. Because that was a problem that I experienced. And, you know, I was just thinking, is this a good use of my money? So anyhow, with having cancer a second time this year, I was truly grateful, blessed. Thank you, Lord, that I already had several of the Modexus supplements at my disposal, because even through chemotherapy, which was one of the worst things, of course, I've ever had to endure in my life, I was still getting stuff done. I mean, granted, I don't think there's much you can do to not feel horrible to some degree when you're doing an aggressive chemotherapy plan treatment like I was. However, like I'm saying, it's because of Modexus, 100%, and I know, because there were times I felt so horrible. I didn't even take anything. And then I started taking them again because it made me useful again, even with the pain and stuff that I was going through. So yeah, they have the supplement Relieve for pain. They have Tranquility, which helps regulate your blood pressure, helps with anxiety, stress, sleep. That's also been huge for me the last few years. Rhythm, the women's supplement. Again, I have friends who take that, and the guys too, you know, the husband or whatever. They're like, yes, this is the most important supplement in our house because she just feels so much better on Rhythm, the women's supplement. And it helps with mood and just the cycles and how it affects your bodies and everything. Cadence, the men's supplement I just told you about, has been huge for me. Lift, I mentioned, is the brain health, feeds your brain, helps with focus, energy, the nutrition of your brain. I mean, a lot of these supplements too, the older that you are, the more you're gonna feel the difference within hours most of the time. And then let's see, I didn't even mention longevity, which is for your immune support, which has become a hot topic the last few years, of course. And I have barely got sick one time in the last 3 years since I started using the Modexus supplements. So yeah. Anyway, so the link should be right in the top of this video description. And yeah, Irma, I mean, people ask if they're expensive, but I mean, I think it's all relative. I think the prices are excellent, considering the benefits I've gotten. And I would pay double what they charge for Cadence. And like I said, I know the people, I know the products, I know the company, what they stand for. They love our country. They're an American company. Believers. Out of all the natural, products and whatnot, like I said, they are the gem out of many, and not just trying to sell people whatever and get the sales. And sometimes it almost bothers me too, because I see companies that are not as good who just put the pitches out there and the commercials, and they're getting the customers. But all I can say is click on the link in the video description, check them out, read about the products, join their Facebook pages, check out the Modexus YouTube channel, which, by the way, I'm a video producer of. And they're not a brand new company. They've been around decades, if you include the original founder and the company that he had. So they're not new. They're just relatively unknown still compared to, big corporations and whatnot. So I don't know, I think that's all I want to tell you, but I just want to share my story a little bit more on this BRITE Friday. That's what Modexus calls it, because it is a good day for sharing good stuff. And not Black Friday, but BRITE Friday. And also because it's not just about the sales. It's about people, and it's about solutions from all of these nasty things that we've been putting in our bodies for all these years that may somewhat feel like it's giving you a benefit, when at the same time it's actually harming yourself. And at this point in 2025, we should all know this. This is not just maybe scenarios. This is how it's been, unfortunately. And so even with chemotherapy, I decided to do it and stick with it because I had some pretty serious issues going on at the time, even besides just the cancer itself, because what it had done to my body. And that was a tough decision. As somebody, as most of you know by now, as somebody who believes in the natural and the power of what God has created for us, to have to make that decision and stick some things in my body, it was like there was no easy or preferred decision to be made. I just had to go with it and trust the Lord that He was going to take care of me, and here I am. He did. But it's a journey with this transition to natural stuff. But the products do matter, and who you trust and what you choose, of course, it matters. How reliable it is. But I could talk all day about how safe the Modexus products are because they're all natural. So anyway, yeah, check it out. I don't want to keep this any longer. Wow, 16 minutes. Actually went much longer than usual. But yeah, praise God. I hope you guys are all enjoying all of the new music between, well, Pastor Bob and me. There's been a lot of it. I'm going to try to keep more coming on my channels as usual. So yeah, that's it. I think this was long enough. But yeah, today is probably literally the best day of the year if you're going to try something from Modexus and find out that, yes, Matt, you were right. I should have listened. And yeah, I mean, do things cost money? Yes, of course. That's the world we live in. And I know it's tough for a lot of people. So, I choose my words very carefully in how I would try to convince anyone to buy anything. But Modexus is just a win-win-win company. And besides all the incentives they provide, I'm just telling you, I know the people firsthand. I talk to them. I talk to the doctors and nurses associated with Modexus, and these are great people, and not the kind of people focused on the money or getting rich. And everybody that I know who's tried the Modexus products, because they are world class, they are so glad that they discovered Modexus, because it really is, it's a diamond in the rough, especially now more than ever in 2025. They're ahead of the game. They're on the cutting edge of these natural solutions. And also the big thing about Modexus supplements is it's not just about the ingredients, what's in them, but it's how they've formulated them so that your body can actually use it properly and digest it, metabolize it, all that stuff that I can't describe personally. But if you go to the Modexus YouTube page, you will get the proper explanations from the doctors, nurses, and those who know about that kind of stuff. So yeah, check them out. Go in the video description, check out Modexus. I promise you will be glad, if nothing else, that you know about this company. You can recommend them to others and hopefully yourself try them out. So, hey there, Tom from the Netherlands. Awesome. You're welcome, Irma, as always. Okay, I'm gonna go. This was longer than expected, and I want to make the rounds about this BRITE Friday event on a few other apps probably. So, okay, take care. I'll see you all later.